Hello, I'm the Toycat, and welcome back to a video. About a year or so ago now, I made a recycling challenge video where I leveled an entire NPC village, used all the blocks that I'd mined, and used them to build something new from scratch. A lot of people really enjoyed both the video of that, but also doing the challenge themselves. I could see so many of you were inspired to do it, and I love seeing all of your images of your, reconstructed villages, and I love, going back to mine every now and then and being like, yeah, that was an awesome challenge. So I figured I wanted to do another one of these, given that it has been roughly a year now, and instead of just doing, oh yeah, we're going to be recycling a desert temple today, instead I figured we'd put a fun twist on it, and today we're going to be recycling a desert temple. We're going to level the entire thing to the ground, turn it entirely into blocks, and then we're going to try to build a jungle temple out of it, because you might notice desert temples are a lot more common than jungle temples. Let's make our own jungle temple out of this, just desert temple that's chilling here in the corner. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to be turning a desert temple into a jungle temple with recycling. Hopefully you will enjoy the video. If you do, like it and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot, and lets me do like these challenges. I think they're crazy fun to do, and if you all do too, then the like is the best way to let me know. But with that said, let's get straight into it, shall we? So let's start by, I guess, mining the thing. So my strategy for mining this, not that you really need one, is just to kind of start from the bottom and then go to the top. Because the problem with the bottom that you might not be aware of after we kill this zombie, which I wasn't expecting, because I thought I had mob stand off. But yeah, the thing is if you look in the center here, you got to be really, really careful about that pressure plate. If you mess up and hit that by accident, you're going to cause more than a few problems. So yeah, my thinking is since we can actually mine these walls because they're part of the stronghold, let's mine our way down here, nice and easy. Mine the pressure plate immediately, take all the TNT out, and just disarm the thing. Because one of the cool things that we're going to have here, because the Desert Temple, there's a few different things I'm thinking as we go into this challenge. The big ones to me, the cool little exclusives that I'm thinking of are, one, we have 4 chests, which is kind of nice. You don't get that from all structures, so we can look inside the chests, but it doesn't really matter. We'll just break them up in our inventory. But as well as just having, 4 chests, we get some TNT, so we can have a trap in there. As well as that, we have a pressure plate we have to use. We have some stained clay. Even though most of the Desert Temple is, just sandstone, it's different types of sandstone. There's, sandstone stairs, there's all these other things, and it means that the challenge is going to go a little bit interesting from there. So, yeah, let's see exactly what we do get from each of these 4 chests. It looks like it does, again, it doesn't actually matter, but we might be able to make like a gold block if we can make a gold block or an iron block if we want to, and it's just kind of nice that we did that. Also, we got an orange stained clay already, and now we just need to get ourselves up, which is, this is why I recommend doing this first, because 1, if you make a mistake, something spawns, it ruins everything. But 2, getting out of here is kind of tricky. And since we have the efficiency 5 pickaxe, which I figured we do just, make everything a bit easier. And if you're doing this, after setting up in creative, something I'd recommend, then yeah, that's something you want to do right there. So yeah, let's mine up here, as you can see. There's only one wall of this, which is meant to be Desert Temple. The rest is actually the terrain. Because it will spawn usually in a desert, mine's like half in a mountain. You do want to just, bear in mind that the stuff around isn't part of what you can take. It gets a bit confusing, but for the most part, just try and take the Desert Temple structure itself, not the surrounding blocks. Which in this case gets a bit confusing, because like I said, this is a really terrible Desert Temple. That's why I wanted to recycle it, because it just kind of merges with the mountain right here, and the mountain's covering half it. So I'm not going to be taking that. Instead, we'll be going like underneath it, which is a bit confusing. But again, things are confusing, but that's entirely fine. So, I'm surprised at just how fast we are actually destroying this thing. But with that said, I do think it is still best to just keep picking up the blocks, and then I'll get back to you once we've destroyed everything, and place everything into these 4 chests. So we'll make like 4 separate chests. This can be like loot we found. This can be stained, that can be other stuff, and this double chest can be sandstone. So I'll get back to you when we've destroyed it, and we can get a count of how many blocks we actually have in this entire destroyed Desert Temple. So yeah, one of the things I really do love that I should mention is the fact that when you have an efficiency 5 pickaxe, like I do here, sandstone is one of the blocks you can instantly break. It's a weird mechanic. I've explained a few times, but the basic idea behind it is it means you can break blocks faster than even you could in creative, which means when you have a big chain of blocks, like here for instance, you can just destroy the whole thing at a crazy, crazy rate, and it's so fun. Like, I'm just destroying it, and I'm already... I know, there's something so fun about destroying something so fast, and I think it's pretty cool that I'm just destroying and I'm already into that mode. Oh, it doesn't count for the stained clay. But yeah, pretty much all the sandstone blocks around do get instantly destroyed. So, if you're worried this is like hour to destroy, I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna have this done in like 5-10 minutes. But yeah, let's get back to just destroying it, shall we? Okay, so progress has been pretty good so far. We've destroyed the entirety of the top of the Desert Temple. We even got all the sandstone from down there, which was kind of a bit of a mess, because some goes into the walls because of the way the chests work. But yeah, now we've got all of that taken out. All we have left to do is the floor. So the floor layer is kind of tricky to do, because again, when you're in a desert, the layer below it's kind of tricky to not take with you. So taking the exact amount is kind of tricky, but since that is what we're trying to do, yeah, we're just going to go around, and we're going to take all of the last bits of sandstone from underneath here, and we're going to take that with us and put it in our chest, and then we'll know exactly how much of each block we have. Fun little, something I wasn't actually expecting is that destroying the whole desert temple, it took about 10 minutes, but it destroyed almost the entire pickaxe, which is 1600 uses. So that means there's at least 1600 blocks here so far, which is very, very crazy to think about at the very least. So we're just going to go around all of this. As you can see, the sandstone goes down there, so you can probably imagine it. When the sandstone goes into an area where there shouldn't be sandstone, that's when you know it should be there. And it looks like it's at least a few layers deep. Maybe that is something that spawns with the temple. Either way, I guess we'll be leaving it just at that layer, and because if it's hidden to the general illusion, I don't think it will count towards our count. And especially given that our pickaxe is about to die. Again, it's just not used to. Usually you're not meant to mine this many blocks in 10 minutes with pickaxe. But yeah, we're gonna have to get a new pickaxe, and then we'll do a count and see how many of each block we have. Because like you can see, the temple is entirely gone. What used to be, it's just a big flat ground. And also what you can see is, the holes in the wall where it kind of dented into the extreme hill. And, things are very, very bizarre right now. But let's get back to you when we have a final count of how many blocks are actually this thing made up of. So the temple is now 100% destroyed, and I placed in the blocks that I accidentally mined. So as you can see, this is what it looks like when there's no desert temple. It does look like, some of the layers from the desert temple, this does count as desert temple, but I figure because it's not viewable by the end user, and because it's just more sandstone to add to a pile, whether you want to count it or not is entirely up to you. But I think, for the sake of one, speed, but two, since you don't really need more than 1,000 blocks anyway, then that's kind of that. Because I did count up all of the blocks. Here is the chest of random stuff. As you can see, 9 TNT and a pressure plate, but then also a saddle, which we're not going to be able to use, some stuff, which we'll just put in chests, and then 16 gold and 10 iron, which is enough to make 1 gold and 1 iron block, I guess, which is interesting. As you can see over here, we get 1 bit of blue stained clay, which I guess we'll have to be really careful with using, and 54 bits of orange stained clay, and I have a brief idea in my head on how to use that right now. Then finally over here, we've got 1,406, if my maths is correct, sandstone, and then we have 190 smooth sandstone, 39 chiseled sandstone, 16 sandstone stairs, and then 2 sandstone slabs. The ratios and all of this is just a bit off, like 1,604 sandstone. It's just a bit more than anything else we have combined. And yeah, basically what I'm going to be trying to work now is build a jungle temple from all of this. As you can see, most of the buildings are going to have to be done with sandstone, but I'm going to try and use the other blocks to their best effect. I know the orange I can use to kind of get a really cool theme in my head, and that's what we're going to start work on right now. So before we do any of that, what I'd recommend you do if you're playing in survival, I mean, I guess in creative you'd have to do this too, but just flattening the ground you're about to work on, because again, it's going to be annoying to have like tulips or like, even just dead bushes and stuff inside your thing. You don't want that, so easy way to do that is use a water bucket and do this. One of the other magical uses of the water bucket, by the way. I feel like I can talk about the water bucket and its greatness all day, but instead what I want to talk about is building the desert temple, or the jungle temple, which I guess we'll just start right now. So let's grab some blocks. Just so you know what we're doing, this is going to be the very first block. I want to have it roughly where the old one was, and we're just going to kind of build in this direction. So there's a few ways you can build, and there's a few ways I like to build, but I think we'll just kind of start building and then see what happens. So this is like 4, and then we'll go inwards for 4 blocks, and then we'll go outwards, and then we'll just see what happens. So yeah, I'll get back to you when I have like at least some form of base structure, and we can keep on working from there. So here you can see I've now got the actual structure of the structure, like, more than finished now, and it's starting to look a little bit like a jungle temple, a little bit too much like a jungle temple for my liking, and, in sandstone it looks a little bit better, but it doesn't look too amazing. So here's the twist I wanted to add with some of the stained clay anyway, because there's little weird things that jut out on the side of a jungle temple a jungle temple just in general, and basically if you do something like this, then what we can actually do is we can have these things jet out, but be bright orange. And that means that they're kind of the same, like, signifying this is a desert temple, but of course it's a jungle temple, and of course this should look really, really cool in perspective. I don't know, it's just in my head, it's like, the yellow and orange mix is really awesome already, because this is such a nice little orange, but if we use the orange in such a, out there way, and it's so obvious, and even pokes out a little bit like it would in a jungle temple, then we should end up with this, so once I place some more here, then we should end up with a, a kind of cool thing that just looks bright, colourful, and very different to a jungle temple, which is dark, depressing, and, no one likes mossy cobblestone. This should be the cure to that if we see what it looks like. So, what I like to do when I test something out is just do it on the first two sides, because it'll look like it's all the way around. But yeah, as you can see, already looking pretty good. I think we need more sandstone to go behind it, but yeah, I like that so far. I'll get back to you when we've like finished a lot more of the inside, because right now the inside is also a work in progress. We've got so much sandstone to use, and I'm starting to get a bit terrified that I'm not going to be able to use it all. But yeah, I'm going to work out places to use the sandstone, and also I realize I have to dig below the ground to make the understairs bit, which again I need to decide what I'm going on there. But yeah, for now we're doing pretty well. We've got most of the orange stained clay used after these little things, and then some blue stained clay and something else to work out. Again, there's lots of decisions to make, and I'm looking forward to making them. So I have run into one little issue as I've been building this whole thing, and that is the kind of underground there. Because I realized I wanted to have an underground and do the underground right. Then I realized to do that, I'm going to have to remove a lot of blocks. So I'm going to end up with a lot of like spare blocks, because I've destroyed this with a shovel. I'm going to end up with a lot of spare blocks, just, floating around of like dirt and stuff. And it means I'll finish this challenge with blocks to spare. There just won't be any of the ones I started with. So it'll be a bit interesting. But yeah, down here I'm going to build a labyrinth, and I'll get back to you when the labyrinth's complete, because this is the final part we've got to build, using all of this stuff, a whole bunch of sandstone still waiting around. And I'll let you know when it's all finished. Okay, so it's taken me just under 2 hours, but now the entire project is complete. Surprisingly, this was actually a little bit faster than the NPC village deconstruction and reconstruction, and I guess a lot of that is because it was slightly smaller, there were slightly less blocks, and because I kind of had a more structured goal going into it. And here is my finished product. This is my desert jungle temple. I decided, I don't like desert temples, and I transformed one into a desert temple. So, a jungle temple, and I do quite actually like it. I know there's a few little things where I could probably use different sandstone in place of it, but I really do like the kind of choices I've made, and I'm going to kind of walk you through it now. So I have turned on flying now, so I can actually fly around and show this thing, and I do need a night vision potion to show you the underground, because it is a rather interesting place to say the least. But with that said, let's show you around the jungle desert temple then, or the desert jungle temple. I'm not sure which you want to call it, but yeah, I really quite like this thing, because as you can see, I took the jungle temple structure and then kind of made it go a bit more vertical to make it a bit more like a pyramid. The kind of interesting cross between the two is a little bit strange at the top. I feel like I could have done a bit better here, but I do like the kind of base design here, and it does hide the little sunlight in, which is important, because this is a desert temple. It's meant to be a bit more sunny, and as a result of that, you can see there's a big hole going right through it that lets the sunlight get into this orange bit. So yeah, a very, very clear orange theme on the middle floor, and here's where you can just go in and enjoy the structure like there is in the desert temple. There's always area where there's no real need to go there. This is the cool place to explore and be like, oh wow, this is a jungle desert temple. However, the downstairs is the area where I'm actually really happy with what I've done, because again, I had so much sandstone to blow on this thing. So what I built is a massive labyrinth, and I really wanted. Okay, so we're gonna need a night vision potion. I really wanted to have a structure that is something like this for quite some time, and I could have done it a bit better if I'd... I'm going to get trapped my own dead ends here. It's just a massive, underground thing that goes for massive, a long amount in each direction, and the basic idea behind this thing... Okay, so we end up over here. Okay, that's a creeper. Let's keep our distance from him, maybe. So the idea behind this thing was that you go through it, and then every now and then you find a chest, and those chests, okay, as long as the creeper's not following me on good, and those chests contain some amount of the loot themselves. That way, each of the chests actually feels like you earned them, rather than like in a desert temple where it's just like, oh yeah, here's another chest, here's a chest, and here's another chest, and all that other stuff. And in this particular case, you actually kind of earn them as you go around, and then on top of, oh, we broke through a wall right there. And on top of earning them that way, you actually have to, do some amount of effort to go in here. You need to bring torches to actually find your way around, which I think is interesting to say the least. And, yeah, you actually... Also, in addition to that, there's some amount of, like, oh, how do I make my way around this thing? Okay, that's a dead end right there. And then, boom, just like this, we found one of the ends, because there's quite a few different ends. And this particular one, as you can see, I could have sandstone the room, but I really like that I found a natural lake, and that natural lake has the blue stained clay. And in there is just the rest of the materials I didn't use, which is 12 rotten flesh, 25 bones, and 15 chiseled sandstone. So yeah, I really do quite like this jungle desert temple. It is very close to the surface, in case you're wondering, like it's 2 blocks down, and as you can see, it goes a massive distance out in every direction from the temple itself, and I just wish we had something that combined an above ground structure with a below ground structure, and I made one that actually did it, and that's what it is. So yeah, the jungle desert temple, this is my take on it. I'd love to see all of yours, because again, I usually just have like an idea, and I'm mind blown by how people kind of take that and make it a bit better. Oh, one other thing I didn't use this chest, because here's all the blocks I picked up while actually, transform the whole thing. There's a few more that I think I threw into the sea. But yeah, as you can see, whole bunch of blocks actually gained by this challenge, and I had a bunch of fun. It took me 2 hours, but that was with, both these tools right here. So if you want to do this, a regular diamond pickaxe and regular diamond shovel, it's probably going to take you about 2.5 hours in survival, but it's totally worth it. You get a cool, unique building that's a cross between 2 buildings. You get to, again, the space where the old desert temple has been is something that I find really cool, and, you might have one of these in your world. And then, yeah, I think this is just a great little creativity project, and I'd love to see your takes on it. Otherwise, like the video if you do like it, because it helps out the channel a lot, and lets me know you do like these kind of challenges. Share the video if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them daily on your homepage. So I recorded that entire 2 hours. I'll just like edit a few segments of it together and make this whole thing, which I guess I have to go do now. So thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna go edit. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.